and let's see your running arms. And he ran all the way away from that dog too, all the way away from the horse, all the way away from the cow, and all the way until he got to a wildly rolling river. Well, cookies can't swim. They'd be mush, they'd be goo. He didn't know what to do. He had no choice but to accept the offer of a nearby animal, a pointy-nosed, pointy-eared, very sly fox. Excellent. And that fox offered to the gingerbread man, "Hey, gingerbread man, jump on my back and I'll swim you across the river." Well, the gingerbread man was reluctant to ask for anyone's help. He was kind of an independent soul, but he knew he had no choice. He couldn't be mucky yuck. So he hopped on the back of that fox, and he swam, and he swam, and he swam across the river. Let's see your swimming arms. He swam, and he swam, and he swam across the river. He swam, and he swam, and he swam across the river until he got to the middle. And when that fox got to the middle, he opened his mouth wide. He opened it wider still. He opened it so wide that your gingerbread man fell right inside. And that is the sad story. Let's see your pretend sad faces of the gingerbread man. Carry on, buck up. It's only a pretend story, a story from fairy tale land, but it illustrates the grave sadness of my gingerbread man, of my missing bakery treat, and your gingerbread man. You know the pain and suffering I feel because of my missing tarts. Well, now that you can empathize with my inner pain and suffering, I believe we'd better look at some of the details that could lead to the solving of this heinous crime. Let's see. If we go back through my favorite fairy tales from Grimm's favorite fairy tales, perhaps we can have some clues. Let's see. I know of a story that involves a girl wearing a little red cloak, and she carries a basket of goodies, and she goes to visit a granny. On the way, she meets a very hungry little beast. What story is that?
What is that?
Yes, what story is it?
Little Red Riding Hood.
It is Little Red Riding Hood. Would you like to come up and act in this story with us? We would very much appreciate your help. I believe we have a Little Red Riding Hood. Carrie O'Heen, she might need some assistance. As she comes up, oh, she does it. Look at that. Yes, there we go. Now we have other characters in this story. Who else is a character in this story? Yes, who's another character? Can you tell me who else do we need in Little Red Riding Hood besides Little Red Riding Hood? Do you know? We could use a granny. Could you come up and be our granny? Oh, Carrie O'Heen, we have a granny. Oh, and we have a beautiful Little Red Riding Hood. Come on up. Would you like to come up and be our granny? Come right up. Carrie O'Heen, we might need some assistance here. Oh, look at her hopping up there, just like a professional. Right here, would you like to come up? And would you like to play a role? Do you think you could be Little Red Riding Hood's mother? Would you like to come up? Yes, could you come up? We need somebody to bake those delicious bakery treats and put them in the basket to take to Granny. Now we need one more person. One more person, I believe we need a wolf. So anybody that could be our wolf in this story? Anyone like to be a wolf? Yes, would you like to come forward? Come forward. Oh, okay. Would you like to? Oh, we're not being wolves. You're not being wolf. We have somebody else to be. You don't want to be the granny? Oh, that's a dreadful shame. Well, you know what? You could sit with Carrie O'Heen. Do you want to just sit on there? And we'll do all the talking. Yes, do you want to just sit there? Yes, just sit there. Take a load off. Take a rest. We'll take care of you. Don't worry. Now, guess what? Carrie O'Heen, put that on. Put that on and be granny. Now, we also have a little wolf right here. Carrie O'Heen, we need to dress. And you just have a granny's assistant right there. We have a wolf that needs to be dressed. I believe we have lots of characters. Oh, would you like to come be Little Red Riding Hood's mum? Girl with the crown on, a girl who's very close to my heart. Would you like to come be Little Red Riding Hood's mum? We have a cape for you as well. Come on over. Look, we have Little Red Riding Hood's mum right here. Oh, do you like capes? We love capes. She's getting all dressed up over top of her beautiful dress. Oh, that's wonderful. story ready. She's a little bit slow. Hurry up, Karaoke! Get to the we're going to be the granny. We are going to tell this story, and I want you to watch for clues. Watch for clues. To who might in this story might have taken my task? The story starts out with, we do. We need a woodcutter. Is there a woodcutter in the audience? Is there anybody that happens to cut wood or chop? Is there anybody that would be willing to try or pretend? Oh, we'll just have to talk about that story, I guess, Caroline. Perhaps you can play both parts. Get that ready so you can play that part as well. Come on, Caroline, get ready. All right. I need Little Red Riding Hood and Little Red Riding Hood's mother over here. And Wolf, perhaps you can go sit on that little chair while we're waiting for your part. Come over, Little Red Riding Hood's mother. Come over, Little Red Riding Hood's mother. We're going to give you the basket first. Excellent. Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful girl. Go right to the middle of the stage and do a little spin first. Our beautiful Little Red Riding Hood. And wave to your audience, very good. Her name was Little Red Riding Hood, and she was a very nice girl. Can you tell us you are a very nice girl?
I'm a very nice girl.
Excellent. And she was so nice that one day when her dear sweet mother found out that her grandmother was very ill, excellent, Caroline, she gave her a delicious basket of baked treats to take to her granny. Go ahead, give her the baked treats and tell her, take this to Granny. It will make her feel so much better. So, before she left, the mother had a word of warning for Little Red Riding Hood. The warning is, don't talk to strangers. Could you say that, Mother?
Don't talk to strangers.
And then she waved goodbye to her sweet little girl. Waved goodbye. And she went and sat over here by the gingerbread man. Go sit right here, Mum. Very good. Excellent. Well, Little Red Riding Hood loved skipping through the woods. In fact, she loved it so much she sang a song. Over the meadow and through the woods to Grandmother's house we go. Over the meadow and through the woods to Grandmother's house we go. Well, when she was skipping through the woods, she came across a very cute, come on out, very hungry wolf. Can you wave to the audience, Wolf? Wave and say, I'm the wolf.
I'm the wolf.
Excellent. Well, that wolf asked her what was in her basket. Can you ask her? And Little Red Riding Hood said,
Cookies for my grandmother.
and then the wolf asked if she could eat them. Ask if you can eat them. Then Little Red Riding Hood went back in time and remembered the words of her dear, sweet mother. Come forward, Mother, and remind her she's not to talk to strangers. Don't talk to strangers. Can you say that?
Don't talk to strangers.
Excellent. And she went back and sat by the gingerbread man. Well, poor gingerbread man. Little Red Riding Hood remembered those words and decided she had to skip off. And she said goodbye to the wolf and kept on her way to Granny's house. Over the meadow and through the woods to Grandmother's house we go. Well, she waited along the side and got a little lost because the woods were unfamiliar to her. But the wolf was an expert in the woods. And the wolf managed to get to Grandmother's house first in the hopes he could trick Little Red Riding Hood into giving her some of her baked treats. So she went over to Granny's house and she knocked on the door. Can you say knock, Wolf? Knock. And when she went inside, she roared a terrible roar and scared Granny dreadfully. Can you give us, Granny, a big roar? Granny was so terrified, she lost her hair, she lost her glasses, and she lost her shawl too, and she went shivering and hiding in the closet. Did you want to go find her? With karaoke? No, you want to sit right here? That would be fine. All right. Well, when that wolf came over, that's right, karaoke, get that wolf ready. In her disguise, she pretended to be Granny. She put on Granny's hair. She put on Granny's glasses. She even put on Granny's shawl, and she started her very, very sneaky plan in motion. She sat in Granny's bed, and she pretended to be Granny. Well, Little Red Riding Hood got to Granny's house finally, and she knocked on the door.
Knock.
And when she went inside, she noticed Granny looked different. She asked Granny some questions. Do you know what questions you'd like to ask?
What did I grab?
And the wolf answered back, the better to see you with, my dear. Can you say that, Wolf?
Better to see you with.
Excellent. Then Little Red Riding Hood looked closer still, and she asked another question.
What are big ears you have?
Riding Hood looked even closer, this time at her sharp, shiny teeth.
What big teeth you have.
And the wolf
Better to eat you.
jumped up and let out a loud roar. Can you do that? Little Red Riding Hood was so terrified she shrieked a terrible shriek. Let's hear your scream. And lo and behold, in marched the woodcutter. The woodcutter who terrified that wolf so much that the wolf lost Granny's hair, lost Granny's glasses, and gave back her shawl. And that wolf promised to never, ever come to Granny's house again uninvited. And ran back in the woods. Come with me, wolf. Let's run you back. Run you back. Run you back. Oh, yes, sir. Let's not forget the wolf's headband along the way. Come on, wolf. Let's run back here. Hold your headband. Well, that woodcutter was so brave and so happy, as was Granny, that they all sat down, opened the basket. Come sit down in front, everyone. Come sit down in front. And enjoyed a delightful basket of treats. And they all lived. What could we have in here? Oh, could you have a little scone, perhaps? And perhaps we'll give you, a yummy little custard tart. And how about we give you a nice little strawberry? And Granny, well, let's give you an apple. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Would you like to come forward, actresses? Come forward, actresses. And then what you do at the end of the play is you bow or you curtsy for all of your work. Excellent. And we clap them. Well done, well done. Now, before you leave, I want to look at this young lady who was fantastic as a wolf, as they all were. And I want you to think, could it have been the wolf in the fairy tale story Little Red Riding Hood that stole my tarts? Think about that, detectives, as they take off their costumes and give them to Carrie O'Heen. And then we're going to take some votes. Would you need help down? Do you need help down? Or you can make your way back to your seat then. Wonderful. Do you need help down? No? You're good? Okay, be careful as you're getting down. Carrie O'Heen, you need to be helping these young ladies with their beautiful dresses off the stage. Come on, Carrie O'Heen, a little bit faster, please. Look at this young lady needs help. Well, everyone, think about it. How many of you think that it could have been that very hungry wolf that stole my tarts? Put up your hands if you think it was the wolf. I see. It looks like 7 or 8, Carrie O'Heen, and that is by no means a consensus. It means we must do another story. Back to my favorite fairy tales. Let's see here. Our next story, yes, I see it. There are some good suspects in this story as well. Well, one, anyway. In this story, there is one little girl with blonde hair, and there are 3 very fuzzy, friendly creatures. They lived in a little house in the woods and had to go for a walk, and that's when the mischief happened. What fairy tale is that?
The 3 Little Bears.
It is Goldilocks and the 3 Little Bears. You are correct. Now, we do need to act this out the way that we did our last story. We need a dramatic reenactment for me to get all the clues. Would you like to come up and be one of our actors? Do you think you could be, who would you like to be in the story? You would like to be Goldilocks. Well, that's a perfect role for you. Carry on here, we have a Goldilocks here. Please help her. Come up on stage, please. What a beautiful dress you have. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Look at you. Now, Goldilocks has some golden hair already, but we're going to add that. We like people to wear costumes if they don't mind. Oh, beautiful. Goldilocks, you can come stand by me because we need to find a Papa Bear, a Mama Bear, and a Baby Bear.